I guess you mentioned something earlier about how you define success.
Mm-hmm.
How would you define your success? What's success in general?
Yeah, well, I want to say something which I know is going to sound very ho-hum, but it's true.
Mm.
There's two things. First, my wife and I have a plan not to be the richest people in the graveyard. So just absorb that.
Mm.
We don't want to be dead and be millionaires and have lots of money. That's not our plan.
Mm-hmm.
So our plan is very simple in that context. Obviously, everybody's personal goal is about enjoying life in a proper, respectable way. That's what everybody wants for themselves, and that's what we want. But success for me actually is a bit like this. My wife calls it my fan mail. But all of the countries that I go to as the leader of the business, as the manager of the business, I like to work with people, the young people.
Mm.
And those young people, I hope, and they do get inspired, and then they stay in touch.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, the success is to see literally what they're doing and how far they're going and growing. So I get mails from people maybe 10 years ago, 8 years ago, and oh, Martin, you remember me such and such, well now this is what's happened, I really blah blah blah. So the fan mail, if you want to call it that, is very important.
Mm.
Not to me, but I appreciate for the reasons that I'm coming to work each day. Nothing is done by you as a leader when you are running a business with so many people. You can't run a business yourself. It is not possible. So for me it's about, in Africa I like this concept, you call it being the father. And when the people in your company, especially throughout a bigger organisation, start to look at you as somebody who has care and somebody who really wants to help the people, not just make money, then I think personally that's a degree of success that's worth going for. So it's about helping other people, and you can do that in a big company just as much as having your own business.
Okay, you talk about helping people and coaching people and mentoring people. Do you yourself have any mentors or people you talk to for advice on a regular basis?
Honestly, not many, but I do have some, and it's those key points of contact when we are connecting where that helps. So my mentors are typically older than I am. There's no surprise there. They are often or have been senior managers. I say have been because some of them are dead now. Have been and are senior managers often at Nestlé, because we're quite a tight family as well. So those people are the sort of people you can sit down with even once a year for a lunch and say, okay, this is where we're up to, and you can get that feedback. So the answer is yes, but infrequently. And then there is, I think, another thing that takes place where there are people you look up to or look to for absorbing some of the things they do well that you think you'd like to improve. So there are a lot of people that I look at and say, okay, I like the way this person does X, or the way they conduct themselves, or the way they listen, which is something that maybe I could do more of, and so on. So I think that's probably more the correct answer.
Okay, and in terms of business people in general, is there someone you admire from a distance who you'd like to spend some time with, who you haven't met yet?
Nope.
No one?
No, and I'm glad you asked that one too, because I don't believe in celebrity leadership. I don't think that it's the best form or the best model. Reading books about other successful managers is useful to get some of their stories and to see how that impacts on you and what you think. But I actually a guy called Preston Botka, who teaches at IMD in Lausanne, is a wonderful man. He's been teaching and learning about leadership his whole life, and his program of teaching leadership, that's the same model, which is we're not going to talk or learn about celebrity leaders. We're not going to. His program, and actually my belief as well, is that leadership is personal. So leadership is something that should be about you. You should develop your own personal style of leadership that fits you. There's some framework, but there's no magic person who has everything out. There's some good people. I mean, I can give you names if that's what you want me to do. I mean, for the one that comes immediately to mind is not exactly your usual business leader. His name's Bill Clinton. And the story, of course, which for me is just his ability to communicate is it's staggering. The man's command of the English language and his ability to actually hold an audience and to use his brain before he opens his mouth is wonderful. So there's some examples like that. But again, I don't want to be Bill Clinton. I haven't got the right accent.